Tell you.
Business interests say the moves nearly 100 days before the election amount to illegal price fixing, and court challenges are likely. Stephen Portnoy, CBS News, Washington.
No more Confederate general statues at the Virginia state capitol. Governor Ralph Northam.
Our duty to represent all of Virginia is clear. We can come together and choose a statue of someone who better represents the inclusive and diverse state that Virginia is now.
It's that time of year where many cool off with a dip in the pool. But WCBS TV's Nick Calloway is in Parsippany, New Jersey, with a scare involving 4 kids.
Cops tell me that a mechanical malfunction on a pool pump caused several gallons of muriatic acid to be pumped into the water. That was around 9:21 a.m. here at the Glacier Hills Private Swim Club. That acid reacted with the chlorine in the water, creating what police called a vapor cloud just above the water.
The Dow lost 182 points today, NASDAQ down 98, S&P losing 20. This is CBS News.
With the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, you might be tempted to leave your child in the car to avoid exposure. This could result in death in a matter of minutes. Always look before you lock.
It's 2:03 at the Bay Area's news station KCBS. Temperatures a little bit below normal for
only do it, but to educate individuals, not just the sectors in our economy, the business owners in our economy, but individuals about what those guidelines are. I recognize that.
And it's something he says he's trying to rectify every day. Megan Goldsby, KCBS.
Meanwhile, state officials have placed Mono County on its coronavirus watch list due to a surge in cases in Mammoth Lakes, a center for tourism and outdoor recreation in the eastern Sierra Nevada. Mono County had about 40 people test positive over the last 2 weeks. Restaurants have been connected to 65% of the new confirmed cases.
A sheriff's deputy who took extra shifts at the Alameda County Jail has died of COVID-19. KCBS reporter Bob Butler says the deputy had been in critical condition before passing away last night.
Oscar Ochoa was well known and well liked at the Renee Davison Courthouse in Oakland. He also worked shifts at Santa Rita, where more than 100 inmates have tested positive.
He obviously struggled with the early stages of the virus, and ultimately he was admitted to the ICU at John Muir Medical Center. And once he was in ICU, he remained in critical condition over the last several weeks, fighting to stay alive. He put up a very courageous fight.
Sergeant Ray Kelly says Ochoa did everything right, but it didn't help.
We obviously see that with the doctors and nurses who work in those environments, who are in full protective gear, who still contract the virus. So you can be doing all that and doing everything right, and the virus can still get into your system through different pathways. So nothing is perfect. We just try to lower the risk of COVID-19 exposures.
Ochoa leaves behind his wife, 4 kids, 3 sisters, and his parents. Bob Butler, KCBS.
Give the lake some space. That's the new message from the city of Oakland as COVID-19 cases continue to surge, especially due to social gatherings. KCBS's Matt Bigler has more from Lake Merritt.
We're here today because the data around COVID infections is
incredibly troubling.
Oakland City Councilmember Nikki Fortunato Bass says COVID cases attributed to parties and social gatherings have spiked from 3% back in May to now 40% of new cases.
So that's really serious, and we want people to spread out across the lake in our parks. We want people to be responsible.
Wear masks and social distance, something that many lake visitors have not been doing on recent weekends. Joe DeVries in the city administrator's office says a big part of the problem are food trucks and other vendors.
With the vendors, we've taken a light touch to begin with, and that didn't work. We saw this radical expansion of vending going on. A lot of it, all of it really illegal.
This weekend, vendors will be getting warnings, and next weekend they could be fined. At Lake Merritt, Matt Bigler, KCBS.
Just ahead on KCBS, Sonoma County cracking down on people in public who don't wear masks.
Time for the hour's first check of KCBS traffic. We bid good afternoon to Peter Schofield. He is in for Kim this afternoon, and Peter takes us off to Richmond.
Well, good afternoon, Jeff and Patty. We're looking at Richmond because of these problems we've been having on 580 in Richmond. For example, eastbound 580 right about Bayview, a roadside grass fire has been creating big backups there. This report brought to you by Junk King, but the CHP and the fire department are now opening lanes one at a time, it looks like. Westbound 580 in Richmond, that is wide open, but eastbound 580, only the left lane is open. Eastbound 580 jams up at Marina Parkway. That'll stay heavy to Central Avenue, but the left lane is now open. In Hayward, 880 northbound past Tennyson, this is a crash blocking the right lane, and traffic is backed up to Fremont Alvarado. And in Bay Point, Highway 4, this is westbound right about San Marco, a crash involving a motorcycle blocking the two left lanes, and you'll come to the backup there as you pass Railroad Avenue. Stop the spread of unwanted clutter by distancing yourself from all the junk you've accumulated over the years. Let Junk King haul it away. Free virtual estimates, 100% touchless pickup, and no contact payments. Call 888-888-JUNK, 888-888-5865, and mention curbside for 15% off your next service. Your next traffic update, 2:18 on the Traffic Leader, KCBS.
It's a cool and cloudy afternoon at the coast with highs in most spots low 60s, partly sunny by the bay with highs in the 60s, and then upper 70s to low 80s inland with the sunshine. Temperatures are a little bit below average for this time of year. For the weekend, they're going to pop above average. High pressure will start building in for the weekend with temperatures 80s, low 90s in the inland valleys. Should stay that way through early next week. Traffic and weather together on the 8s on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS.
What would you call a huge hospital chain that breaks its promises in the middle of a pandemic? Shameful? Unconscionable? Here in San Jose, you would call them HCA Healthcare. HCA Healthcare is the huge hospital chain that owns Good Samaritan Hospital and Regional Medical Center. And in the middle of the pandemic, HCA tried to take away their workers' hard-earned raise. When our healthcare heroes objected, HCA took it out of their retirement. That's the same HCA Healthcare that had over $12 billion in revenue in just 3 months in 2020. The same HCA that took over $5 billion in federal coronavirus bailouts and paid their CEO Samuel Hazen an eye-popping $26 million. A hospital chain that pushes its workers to the breaking point in a pandemic, then pulls the rug out from under them? That's HCA Healthcare. Paid for by SEIU, United Healthcare Workers West.
Outdoor Supply Hardware has brought the classic hardware store back, and they've just opened 3 new stores in Redwood City, Clayton Valley Shopping Center, and San Jose at Silver Creek. Friendly, knowledgeable service is the Osh difference. They carry all the top brands in power tools, fasteners, yard tools, mowers, and more. Outdoor Supply Hardware, now with 8 great locations throughout the Greater Bay Area. Go to osh.com to see the latest circular and learn more. Outdoor Supply Hardware, it's like coming home.
I do applaud Aegis for the training that we've had all these years. It's our first pandemic, and fortunately for us, most of us have had the training throughout the years of being here. Aegis is far ahead of everyone else.
Aegis Living is an industry leader when it comes to keeping our residents safe, active, and engaged. Aegis Living, assisted living and memory care. Visit us at aegisliving.com. That's AEGIS living.com.
KCBS News Time 2:11.
Sonoma County is looking to turn up the heat on those who don't wear a mask in public. As KCBS's Mike DeWald reports, the plan could carry some stiff penalties.
Increasingly concerned by the continued rise in both cases and deaths, county officials held a special meeting Thursday to determine the potential penalties for not complying with health guidelines. The Board of Supervisors is weighing a number of options, from marketing and education campaigns to the creation of a hotline to fines for individuals and businesses. Individuals could face fines up to $100 for not wearing a mask, while businesses would face a much stricter sliding scale of penalties, beginning with education or a $1,000 fine.
But it could go as high as potentially $10,000 for businesses who absolutely refuse to be compliant.
That's Chair of the Sonoma County Board of Supervisors, Susan Gorin. She says the board has some concerns over the expense and effectiveness of creating a hotline to report violators.
It's the more serious kind of things that hopefully will be reported, and not just the tattletales, tattling on their neighbors.
The board has set another special meeting for Thursday, August 6th to finalize the new rules. In the North Bay, Mike DeWald, KCBS.
2 more big retailers are joining the growing list of places where you will need a face covering to shop no matter what the local rules say. Bed Bath & Beyond and JCPenney say they will impose their own rules even where state or local authorities won't. Staples says it'll switch to the nationwide policy on Monday. The National Retail Federation is encouraging retailers to set nationwide mask policies to protect shoppers and employees, as nearly 40 states now require masks in public places. KCBS News Time 2:13, the sports line in 2 minutes.
Stuck inside with the family? Antsy to do something and go somewhere? Obviously now is not the time to do it, but Mr. Pavers can provide the next best thing. Vacation in your own backyard. And if your backyard is not very desirable right now, Mr. Pavers can turn your backyard into your own personal paradise. Get outside, enjoy the seasonal warmth and fresh air. Mr. Pavers specializes in backyard patios, pool decks, outdoor kitchens, and driveways. Quality pavers at affordable prices. Mr. Pavers is also Diamond certified and an ICPI installer. And if you book a job before the end of the month, you will receive 20% off and free demolition. Call Mr. Pavers at 833-MR-PAVERS. That's 833-MR-PAVERS. Or go to MrPavers.com. It's so easy to get out of that stuffy house when you are steps away from outdoor fun. Let Mr. Pavers bring your dream backyard to life. Call right now. 833-MR-PAVERS. That's 833-MR-PAVERS. Or go to MrPavers.com today.
I've always wanted to learn another language, but every time I try, it never sticks. So I decided to give Babbel a try, and I really like the teaching method of the app. I started with the beginner lesson on Babbel, and it starts with simple words and phrases, and soon you're putting those words into a conversation. Each lesson takes about 10 to 15 minutes, and they're all really different, which keeps things interesting. The app is really smart. It actually keeps track of the words I'm struggling with so I can practice them and get better. I chose Babbel because it was created by real language teachers. They built it around real life, how people actually communicate, and what they care about. I can't wait to use my new language skills in the real world. Dos cervezas, por favor.
With Babbel, get conversational in Spanish, French, German, and more. It just takes 10 to 15 minutes a day. Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com, Babbel.com.
Coming up on KCBS, the coronavirus has the UK looking to shrink its expanding waistline. We'll tell you what Boris Johnson has in store in about 5 minutes. KCBS News Time, 2:15.
Yeah, that will be time for sports.
Cheers Tyler Flowers and Travis Darno for today's game after both players showed symptoms of the coronavirus and didn't make the trip. They both tested negative, by the way, but they were left behind. Rookie Alex Jackson behind the plate for Atlanta today. Detroit's at Cincinnati at 3 p.m., Toronto at Tampa Bay at 3:40. Then, of course, a full slate of night games, including the Giants and Dodgers at 6:40. The A's will host the Angels 7 p.m. at the Coliseum. Sean Manaea against Andrew Haney. And by the way, the Giants-Dodger game last night on NBC Sports Bay Area drew a 6.9 rating, the highest rating for a regular season game in this market since 2013. That's how starved people were for baseball.
So.
Yeah, and the Toronto Blue Jays have finally found a home for this season. They'll play the majority of their home games at their AAA ballpark in Buffalo. We'll have more on that later on. At the sports desk, Kevin Radich, KCBS.
At CDW, we get that migrating your business to a hyper-converged infrastructure is challenging.
Like me switching to decaf. Gotta do it, don't want to do it, but gotta do it.
Whoa, slow down, friend. CDW's experts can help you simplify the transition from legacy to hyper-converged infrastructure with Dell Technologies solutions that offer speed and agility.
Do it, do it. Have you done it? Is it done yet? Why isn't it done yet?
IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Dell Tech.
We're all in uncharted territory, looking for ways to support our communities. At Dell Technologies, we're making sure small businesses have the right tech solutions. Dell Technologies advisors are here for you, from helping small businesses stay connected and productive while working remotely with Windows 10 and Microsoft Teams, to rapidly deploying remote work solutions that limit upfront costs with Dell Financial Services. We're standing by you every step of the way. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
What is the state of California?
The question is not just what's open and what's closed, but are people wearing their masks?
I'm KCBS political reporter Doug Sovereign. Join us every weekday afternoon right here on the Bay Area's news station for a closer look at the policies and politics driving the California conversation.
We cannot have race-neutral policies for very race-specific problems.
The State of California, 3:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, right here on the Bay Area's #1 news station, KCBS.
KCBS News Time 2:18. Patty has that all-important 6-day forecast coming up. But first, traffic news, and Peter is in for Kim. We're off to Richmond again, Peter.
Eastbound 580 at Bayview. All eastbound lanes are now open. This report brought to you by Hint Water. The grass fire near the freeway had all lanes shut down for a while, but now all lanes are open east and westbound 580 through Richmond. But the backups are lingering here, mostly on the eastbound side of 580. That's where traffic slows from Marina Bay Parkway to Central Avenue. But all lanes are open, so your GPS might still be showing it's closed, but it's not. In Bay Point, Highway 4 westbound, just past Bailey Road, the 3 left lanes are blocked by a crash. One of the people involved did not survive the impact, so this is a fatal crash. Only the right lane is open, and you have a backup leading up to that point. In Hayward, 880 northbound at Tennyson, the crash has been cleared. All lanes are open there, and the backup to Alvarado, Fremont Alvarado, is now thinning out. Hint is pure water infused with surprisingly true fruit flavors, including watermelon, blackberry, and cherry. No sugar, no sweeteners, no calories. Available in your local grocery store or at drinkhint.com. Hint, water with a touch of true fruit flavor. Your next traffic update at 2:28 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Got a pretty strong onshore flow, and it's cooled things down a little bit from yesterday. Definitely a lot more fog and low clouds near the water. We're seeing highs low 60s at the coast, mid to upper 60s by the bay, upper 70s, low 80s inland with sunshine there. Then high pressure starts building in for the weekend. Temperatures will actually be a bit above average, and they should stay that way through early next week. Traffic and weather together on the 8s on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS. KCBS News Time 2:20.
Prime Minister Boris Johnson is expected to announce new regulations next week in the UK to curb the rate of obesity. Those plans will reportedly include new bans on junk food advertisements and more, as concerns increase over the connection between obesity and the coronavirus susceptibility factors. Joining us with more on the KCBS Ring Central Newsline is Sky News reporter Enda Brady. And it's worth noting here that Johnson in the past has opposed a number of measures aimed at curbing obesity in the UK. That was prior to his own COVID-19 scare.
Yes, that is correct. So previously he said he is not a fan of what he referred to as sin taxes and that we should all be free to make our own choices in life. Then, of course, early April of this year, he became the first world leader to contract the virus. He ended up in intensive care. He very nearly died. And people very close to government in the past couple of days are saying that quite simply Boris Johnson has changed his mind completely, and he is utterly convinced that the reason he ended up so sick from COVID was because he's carrying weight. And he feels that, if we can get rid of the obesity crisis, we can fight the virus better. So he's on a health kick, and now the nation will have to join him.
Give us some details about how this advertising ban is going to work.
So what we're hearing, government sources are saying that there will be a complete ban on junk food advertising before 9 p.m. There will be a complete ban on online advertising for junk food and in-store promotions, where you can maybe buy one, get one free for pizza and other products. All of that will come to an end very, very quickly indeed. We've already had a sugar tax come in the past 18 months, which has resulted in many soft drinks companies basically changing their recipes. They were told that if you don't reduce the sugar, we will whack up your tax bill. So the end result is that a lot of soft drinks have changed their recipe, reduced their sugar, offering healthy alternatives. But this is all coming our way in the next few weeks. It'll be legalised next week or announced by the government. And the bottom line is Britain needs to get its act together, because the most recent statistics show 64% of adults in the UK are either overweight or obese, and 30% of children. So we really need to change this quite quickly.
And what are your polls saying about the level of support that Boris Johnson has for his approach to handling the coronavirus at this point?
Oh, really, really mixed. I mean, he has done his best. He has come out every day and said, look, we're trying our best. There is no template. There is no manual for how to handle this. And yet we look at other countries with similar-sized populations in Europe, and they're doing far better than the UK. I mean, by the end of this year, Britain will have lost 60,000 people to COVID. Boris Johnson oversaw all of this. And I think, you've got to draw a line between the people who are his die-hard conservative supporters who will back him to the hilt, and others who just feel that, we should have locked down earlier. This was a prime minister who, in the first few weeks of the outbreak, actually gave a news conference saying that he was still shaking hands with people. He'd been to a hospital treating COVID patients, and he was shaking hands with people there. And lo and behold, within 2 weeks, we know what happened, Boris.
We here in the U.S. are in the midst of a surge, a pretty scary surge. What is it like there?
So it has been dropping off the last few weeks. There's been a steady decrease in the UK. We've gone from a peak, mid to late April of 1,000 fatalities a day. Now we're down to the dozens, and it does seem to be dropping off, and the virus seems to be burning away. But everyone's big fear, and we're watching what's happening in Florida, other parts of the United States. We're in a situation now where Boris Johnson has told people that we must wear face masks when we go shopping and into supermarkets. And already 2 of the big chains have come out and said, we're simply not going to enforce these rules. We're not going to take responsibility for this. And I think we're far from getting out of the woods yet.
Andrew Brady, always great to chat with you. We appreciate you making some time for us. Andrew Brady reports for Sky News.
We're headed to Wall Street now. Stocks closed on the downside.
Rising tensions between the U.S. and China and fears that the economic recovery may have stalled sent stocks lower. The Dow Jones Industrial Average slumped 182. The S&P 500 dropped 20. The Nasdaq tumbled 98. The new home market is on a tear. The government says sales of newly built homes jumped nearly 14% last month to the best level in almost 13 years. The increase was much larger than expected. The FAA is ordering emergency inspections on older model Boeing 737s that have been parked due to the travel slump. Airlines are being told to check the planes before they fly again for a corroded valve that could cause a loss of power. Some items dropped from restaurant menus during the pandemic may be gone for good. The CEO of Outback Steakhouse parent Bloomin' Brands says fewer choices reduce costs. Other chains have also simplified their menus in recent months. Larry Kofsky, Bloomberg Business for KCBS.
Businesses are starting to bounce back. But what if you could do better than that? What if you could adapt, deliver, and succeed in new ways with new customers? At Comcast Business, we're committed to helping you not just bounce back, but bounce forward. That's why we're offering a powerful and reliable internet and voice solution now for only $64.90 a month with a 2-year agreement. It'll help you stay ahead with a network you can count on, stay connected with 24/7 support, and thrive with flexible solutions that work wherever you are. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go online today to find out more. Plus, ask how to get a prepaid card worth up to $300. Comcast Business. Offer ends 8/22/2020. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 35 megabits internet and one voice line. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, installation, taxes, and fees extra. Subject to change.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head, and the total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically buy.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask like 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-395-3455. 800-395-3455. 800-395-3455.
Optima Tax Relief.
It's one thing to be stuck in your house due to COVID-19. It's another thing to be stuck with a house. We've got good news for homeowners listening throughout the Bay Area. John Buys Bay Area Houses is still buying houses. More importantly, we offer sellers a completely virtual selling process that maintains social distancing standards. Sell your home now. Call John today and get a cash offer in just 7 minutes. Call 510-426-7000. Can't collect rent? Not a problem. We buy My Tenant Won't Pay Me the Rent houses as well as vacant houses. We buy houses as is and in any condition. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call John Buys Bay Area Houses today at 510-426-7000. Sell your home now. Call John today and get a cash offer in just 7 minutes. Call 510-426-7000. That's 510-426-7000. 510-426-7000.
KCBS traffic and weather. We're going to start you off in Bay Point right now as we check back with Peter Scope.
510-426-7000.
KCBS traffic and weather. We're going to start you off in Bay Point right now as we check back with Peter Schofield in for Kim. Peter.
Yeah, this is in Bay Point, Highway 4 westbound, just past Bailey Road. This is a crash involving a motorcycle. The rider was killed. The Chilton Auto Body Collision Cam sees that the 3 left lanes are blocked and traffic is backed up to Railroad Avenue. It's also causing some slow traffic on eastbound Highway 4. That's Looky-Loo traffic, sluggish from Willow Pass to Bailey Road. In Richmond, 580, both directions between Marina Bay Parkway and Central. Some of the lanes were shut down because of a grass fire near the freeway, but all lanes are now open on 580 through Richmond, and the backups there beginning to thin out. Barge is recovering from an earlier problem, a major delay on the Antioch line in the Antioch and SFO direction because of an equipment problem on one of the trains. Your next traffic update, 2:38 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Cool and cloudy near the coast. Temperatures below normal for this time of year tomorrow. And on Sunday, they're going to pop to above normal. High pressure building in, more sunshine, warmer temperatures. Traffic and weather together on KCBS.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference. Like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Made with whole grain oats, Nature Valley Crunchy Granola Bars are just as tasty on the terrace as they are on the trail, as delicious on the deck as they are on the dock. So enjoy a Nature Valley Crunchy Bar wherever you are.
News that matters to you around the Bay, around the world, around the clock. All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS.
It's Friday, July 24th, 2020. Coming up on KCBS, California lawmakers will be able to vote virtually, but they won't get paid the same. San Francisco leaders rally in support of reinstating affirmative action. And the CDC is out with its new coronavirus recommendations for schools. A CBS News update in seconds. Good afternoon. I'm Patty Rising in our San Francisco studios. Jeff Bell in his home studio in Marin. It's 2:31.
CBS News Update. After weeks of promising there would be updated guidance, the CDC has come out with recommendations for schools to safely reopen. The guidelines recommend keeping students in pods and having teachers stay with that same group. CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand.
The CDC notes the virus poses a relatively low risk to school-age children, but health officials concede there is still a lot that is unknown.
Dr. Anthony Fauci of the White House Coronavirus Task Force.
Talking about an age range in elementary school that do transmit. The question is, how often do they get infected?
In Wichita, Kansas, the school year has been pushed back to start after Labor Day. Teacher Hannah Gable.
I'm scared that I would be in a classroom and potentially be exposed and then expose 150 kids in one day. I would not be able to handle being responsible for that many exposures.
CBS News Update, I'm Matt Piper.
KCBS News Time, 2:32.
A visiting cancer researcher from China who fled her post at UC Davis after being questioned by the FBI is now reportedly in custody in Sacramento County, this according to the Sacramento Bee. The Chinese consulate in San Francisco was harboring the researcher named by the Bee as 37-year-old Zhuan Tang. The Justice Department says Tang is accused of lying about her military background as it announced charges against her and 3 others accused of concealing their government ties. The 4 researchers are accused of lying on applications to work in the U.S. about their status as members of China's People's Liberation Army. All are charged with visa fraud.
Community leaders in San Francisco are urging the public to vote yes this November on 2 state propositions that would support Black lives. KCBS's Carrie Hudasek reports from a rally outside City Hall.
With the general election just around the corner, advocates are encouraging voters to approve Prop 16, which would get rid of the ban on affirmative action hiring, and Prop 17, which would give those on parole for felony convictions the right to vote. Among those in support is Dorsey Nunn with Legal Services for Prisoners with Children. He spoke with a formerly incarcerated man during an Invest Black rally here at City Hall.
Have you ever been eligible to vote?
No. I went to prison when I was 17 years old. I would love to vote for my representation so I could change the way that they affect my life and my purpose in life.
Mission High School graduate Sabrina Mcfarland has been leading the fight for young people of color and says she goes to school in New York City for a reason.
Because I knew that I didn't feel that I had a place in the UC system. I didn't want to be in a school that was going to actively tell me my people were not welcomed.
Supervisors Matt Haney, Asha Safai, and Shaman Walton also showed their support during the demonstration. At San Francisco City Hall, Carrie Hudasek, KCBS.
The COVID-19 pandemic continues to impact all aspects of life in California, including government. KCBS reporter Melissa Colross tells us lawmakers will be able to vote remotely during the last month of the session.
Some state senators will be able to vote remotely during committee hearings, and some assembly members will be able to vote by proxy during floor sessions when the legislature reconvenes next week. Political consultant Leo McElroy says these accommodations are extraordinary for Sacramento.
The legislature has been for many years a very hidebound organization. I mean, this is the way we do things here, and this is the way we're going to do things.
But flexibility is necessary during a global pandemic. McElroy adds that even in limited circumstances, proxy voting in particular could prove challenging if and when amendments are introduced on the floor.
You shouldn't have to travel because you're in fragile health or you're battling COVID already. Okay, fine. We'll make an exception for you. But it's still going to get complicated.
Lawmakers who vote remotely or by proxy will not receive their daily stipends, which are intended to cover the costs of traveling to the state capitol. Melissa Colross, KCBS.
KCBS News Time 2:35. In less than 3 minutes, Peter Schofield is going to update that fatal accident in Bay Point. But right now, Dave Ross.
A hidden victory. This is Dave Ross on the CBS News Radio Network, presented by Capital One Bank. The coronavirus news has been thoroughly depressing, so I thought we could use a little encouragement, and it comes from Dr. Keith Jerome, who directs the virology lab at the University of Washington. Usually, it's his job to warn us that the virus is mutating, that it's widely contagious, and that vaccines may not be totally effective. But this week, he can report a hidden victory.
Every day I get an email from the lab. It's just set up automatically. It says, what respiratory viruses have we detected in Seattle today? And so in a typical year about this time, we'd see a couple of flus, a couple of viruses, some other things. Every day for probably the last 6 to 8 weeks, that report says no new positives.
Wow.
So while we test for all these other viruses, frankly, this physical distancing we're doing, the masking, the hand washing, we've done an amazing job sort of getting all the less infectious viruses under control.
And this is happening in a lot of cities. So if you're looking for hard evidence that all this personal buffering can work, even though it hasn't yet been enough to stop COVID, the data shows that pretty much every other respiratory infection, including the flu, has given up. So well done, America. Just don't celebrate by packing into a bar. Dave Ross on the CBS News Radio Network.
Brought to you by Capital One. Capital One's banking app lets you manage your money anytime, anywhere. This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Capital One N.A.
At Prime Mail Medical, they understand how frustrating it can be to experience difficulties in your intimate life. Their mission is to provide you the medical care you need for improved performance.
At Prime Mail Medical, we have virtually every medication known to man to help men. We specialize in treatments for ED and low T, and we have a 99% success rate. Most impotence problems can be treated in just one visit.
That's Dr. Robert Rowley from Prime Mail Medical.
We offer a variety of treatments, including high-dose sublingual lozenges, ultrasound-based shockwave therapy, and injectable therapies. We can also treat testosterone issues when needed.
Prime Mail Medical in the East Bay and San Francisco. Get your customized evaluation for just $99, which covers a full year of free visits, including a PSA test, testosterone test, and ultrasound. Call now, 415-761-4037, or go to primemailmedical.com. That's 415-761-4037.
This is Larry Flick, owner of the Floor Store. During our Red Hot Summer Sale, overstocked items are up to 60% off, plus 24 months free financing. That's hot, but everything else in the store is 20% off. That's Red Hot. The Floor Store, your Bay Area flooring authority.
KCBS News Time, 2:38. That would be time for traffic, and we check back with Peter Schofield in for Kim this afternoon. Peter.
We're looking to the Delta near Brannan Island. This is Highway 12, just west of the Mokelumne River Bridge. Both directions have been shut down because of a crash involving a motorcycle and a big rig. We've been getting some help on this from the KCBS phone force using the number 415-391-KCBS, 391-5227. And this crash is going to be there for a while, so you might consider Highway 4 or 160 through Walnut Grove to I-5 as the alternates. In Bay Point, Highway 4 westbound just past Bailey Road. This is a crash involving a motorcycle. The rider was killed. The Chilton Auto Body collision cam sees the 3 left lanes are blocked. Only the right lane is open. Traffic is backed up to Railroad Avenue, also getting some looky-loo slowing on the eastbound side of 4 from Willow Pass to Bailey Road. In San Francisco, police activity around 18th and Mission, so the police are asking that you avoid that area. And in Cupertino, 85 northbound before De Anza, a grass fire close to the freeway, close enough to shut down the right lane, and traffic bogs down between Saratoga Avenue and De Anza. Your next traffic update at 2:48 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
We've got a stronger onshore flow today. That means more fog and low clouds near the water and cooler temperatures, low 60s at the coast, upper 70s to low 80s inland. Sunshine there, though. It is going to be warmer for the weekend. We're going to see high pressure start building back in. We're going to see warmer temperatures and more of the sunshine all the way through early next week. Traffic and weather together on KCBS, sponsored by your Northern California Honda dealers.
This summer, get back in the driver's seat in a new Honda at unheard of savings during NorCal Honda's summer clearance event. Shop safely in person or online. For details, ask anyone who owns a Honda or visit NorCalHondaDealers.com.
Since 1950, Clark Pest Control has been the Bay Area's trusted source for eradicating unwanted pests, termites, bugs, rodents, and more. And now they are also offering their Essential Clean disinfecting service for use against COVID-19. Contact Clark Pest Control for your free contactless inspection today. All services will be performed by technicians wearing PPE gear and, as always, backed by the Clark Pest Control guarantee. Call 1-800-WE-NEED-YOU or visit clarkpest.com. That's clarkpest.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Panagotakos, also known as the Hair Doc. I've been treating men and women, both medically and with hair transplants, since 1974 at my 2001 Union Street office. I am announcing the addition of a new Artis IX transplant robot to my practice, and I'm offering a discount to those who qualify for the procedure. For more information, go to hairdoc.com. That is hairdoc.com, or call the office at 922-3344 for an appointment. I've been a Diamond Certified provider for over 10 years.
A fine timepiece is a mechanical miracle.
Mainsprings and balance wheels.
Winding stems and gear trains.
And an escapement that distributes split-second oscillations.
A fine watch is the pinnacle of high-tech mechanical devices.
A watch that doesn't need batteries. What will they think of next?
There is a crown for every hard-fought achievement.
And those crowns are worn on the wrist.
Come and find your crown.
At Shreve & Company.
Stop what you're doing for a moment, because I've been asked to explain a simple yet powerful program that's completely new in California. If you have a paid off or nearly paid off car, Choice Cash is a new way to borrow thousands of dollars with no hidden fees. By using your paid off or nearly paid off car, you can get the funds you need within 24 hours. In a bind and need money right away? Call us today for quick and easy approval right over the phone. We'll even tell you how you can have your Choice Cash payments lowered each month. So if you need emergency cash right away, call us now to get $2,500 to $20,000. Call 844-833-CASH. That's 844-833-CASH. For Choice Cash, that's 844-833-CASH. That's 844-833-CASH.
All loan applications are subject to meeting Capital Community Bank's credit criteria, which includes providing acceptable property as collateral. Customers need to demonstrate ability to repay the loan. Not all applicants are approved. Capital Community Bank, member FDIC.
Dear current and future college students, now is a time of opportunity to turn your learning into earning. Enroll for fall classes now at stayenrolled.com. Opportunity knocks from the California Community Colleges.
KCBS News Time 2:43.
We may be afraid to go outside during this pandemic, but apparently we're not afraid to go to the fridge. The story firsthand from a slightly larger KCBS reporter, Tim Ryan.
I'm up around 15 pounds, cannot believe it, have never weighed this much. Although a foot injury is part of my problem, I'm not getting my exercise.
The whole pandemic has been stressful and challenging in so many ways for so many of us.
Dr. Scott Kahan, director of the National Center for Weight and Wellness in Washington, D.C., explains we are stressed out, people.
Job insecurities, financial stresses, more stresses around our kids and our families.
Doc, I'm finding myself going to the freezer or the cabinet a little more often.
Alcohol, for many people, can be a way of unwinding and comforting ourselves when we have upsets. As can ice cream and other treats like that.
Advice from the doctor who admits to a midday beer and a little binge eating and has gained 10 pounds himself. A little exercise structure and replacing eating and drinking with other pleasures of life. A hot shower, a hot bath. Tim Ryan, KCBS.
KCBS News Time 2:44. A's have their home opener tonight. Kevin's going to tell us all about it in a minute.
It's Gil Gross. Are you looking to move, but the bank says that you need to sell your current home before you can buy your next home? Even if you have your down payment ready, most banks won't qualify you to have two mortgages at the same time. So in the meantime, where are you going to live? And good luck asking the seller to wait until you sell your current home. But now there's something you can do. Apply for a transitional bridge loan from Pacific Private Money. That way you can buy your next home before selling your current home. Pacific can lend you up to 100% of the purchase price for your next home, utilizing the equity in your current home. Move right into your next home. Then you can freshen up and stage your current home and sell it for a better price. Staged homes often sell for more money. Fast, reliable, and easy, a transitional bridge loan from Pacific Private Money will save you time, stress, and get you into that dream home now. For information, call them at 415-883-2150 or visit their website at pacificprivatemoney.com. That's 415-883-2150 or visit pacificprivatemoney.com.
KCBS News Time 2:45.
And coming up on KCBS, some tough decisions ahead for parents over whether to send their kids to daycare. We'll have more on that and what the experts have to say in about 5 minutes.
Right now, A's baseball. Kevin the Rat on the KCBS Sports Line.
Yeah, Patty, the home opener tonight. Sean Manaea on the mound against the Angels and Andrew Haney at 7 p.m. By the way, the A's have placed a good-sized target in the left field bleachers, and any player hitting that with a home run and fans with cutouts at the Coliseum will get a coupon for a free pizza. Last night, Hunter Pence of the Giants waved at the cutouts in the stands in Dodger Stadium in the pregame intros. The Giants and Dodgers again tonight, 6:40 down in L.A. One game underway right now. The Mets hosting the Braves, and we had our first web gem of the season. It happened in the Mets' fifth. No score. Cano at first. J.D. Davis at the plate. Mike Soroka on the mound for Atlanta.
0-2 pitch. Breaking ball hit high in the air to center and deep. And ball. He jumps and he made the catch. Ender Inciarte just might have taken a home run away from J.D. Davis. Scampering back to first is Cano, 2 men away.
Howie Rose, the call on 880 WCBS in New York. Inciarte robs Davis of a 2-run home run in the fifth, then saved another run with a nice running grab in the gap in the sixth. The Mets and Braves no scores ahead to the seventh. Jacob deGrom, by the way, went the first 5. He gave up 1 hit, struck out 8. What a great start for the Mets star. And from the NBA, Domantas Sabonis of the Indiana Pacers suffered a significant foot injury and had to leave the bubble. His status for the season now in Adrian Wojnarowski. At the sports desk, Kevin Radich, KCBS.
Gotta love California in the summer. Just remember, COVID is still with us, so if you're going to the water, plan ahead, follow local public health guidelines, and make sure everyone wears a life jacket. Save the ones you love. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
The art of luxury. The art of style. Tap into your unique personal style at All Natural Stone. All Natural Stone houses the Bay Area's most extensive collection of tile and stone, including a coveted inventory of exotic natural stone, marble, as well as a variety of porcelain slab. Their 4 showrooms in Burlingame, Berkeley, Dublin, and San Jose showcase the finest porcelain tiles, handmade ceramics, and artisan glass available. Your artistic options are limitless. All Natural Stone, the art of living. Visit them online at allnaturalstone.com.
Finding the right Medicare plan to meet your needs can be confusing. Call 800-428-0919 to find an all-in-one Medicare plan that may give you more benefits for less money. eHealth can provide you with free information and the practical advice you need. Call 800-428-0919 to find out about all-in-one Medicare plans with possible extra benefits like routine dental, eyeglasses, in-home care, hearing aids, acupuncture, and more. eHealth allows you to shop and compare many different Medicare plans in your area. Their licensed insurance agents can walk you through your Medicare options, and there is never an obligation to enroll in a plan.
I have to tell you, I was so excited to find eHealth and the coverage that I receive because I really save a lot.
Call now, 800-428-0919. That's 800-428-0919. eHealth has no government or Medicare affiliation.
Roll out refreshed with Mako. Enjoy online estimates and contactless services for easier and safer paint and collision repair. Get started at Mako.com. Better get Mako.
Traffic, let's check it out. It's 2:48. We're checking back with Peter Schofield. He's in for Kim Vestal and takes us off to the Bay Bridge.
It's 80 westbound going in the San Francisco direction. A crash is blocking the right lane just before you leave the upper deck of the Bay Bridge before Fremont Street. Looks like 4 cars involved here. Could be some significant damage in this crash as some of the airbags have popped. You'll come to the backup as you come out of the tunnel at Yerba Buena Island and start to work your way across the upper deck of the Bay Bridge. In San Francisco, police activity near 18th and Mission, so they're asking that you avoid that area. In the Delta, near Brandon Island, this is west of the Mokelumne River. Both directions have been shut down because of a crash involving a motorcycle and a big rig. Traffic is at pretty much of a standstill in both directions, so you might consider Highway 4 or 160 through Walnut Grove and then back to Interstate 5 as the alternates. And in Bay Point, Highway 4 westbound just past Bailey Road. The 3 left lanes are blocked. Only the right lane is open. This is a motorcycle crash where the rider was killed and traffic is backed up to Railroad Avenue. Your next traffic update at 2:58 on the Traffic Leader, KCBS.
Fair amount of fog near the coast and parts of the bay this afternoon, and temperatures running a few degrees below normal for this time of year. Low 60s at the coast, upper 70s to low 80s inland. We're going to see high pressure start building back in for the weekend. That's going to bump temperatures up. We're going to definitely see more of the sunshine. Temperatures should stay above normal through early next week. Traffic and weather together on the 8s on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS. KCBS News Time, 2:50.
Kathy Whitman and Amelia Pereira are editing this Friday afternoon as our News Watch continues. Back to school right around the corner, and a lot of parents are weighing the pros and cons of sending their preschool-age kids back to daycare. As KCBS's Matt Bigler reports, the recommendation of top education experts is do it if it is safe.
Well, I think if preschools can reopen, they should reopen.
Dr. Steve Barnett is Senior Co-Director of the National Institute for Early Education Research at Rutgers University. He says preschoolers are the population at lowest risk of contracting COVID and the hardest to serve remotely. But he tells KCBS preschools will need to make safety a top priority, including wearing masks or face shields, playing outside almost entirely, and staying in small groups.
You can't be moving kids around across groups, mixing groups. You really need to maintain this bubble or pod.
And because we're going to have a picnic.
I recently talked to our 4-year-old Rebecca about these changes.
So when you go back to preschool, you may have to wear a mask.
Am I going to have to wear it inside or not?
Yeah, probably inside and maybe outside too.
Dr. Barnett says as many as 4 million preschoolers in the U.S. lost their programs due to the pandemic. Matt Bigler, KCBS.
In Oakland, OK stands for Our Kids. KCBS's Jim Taylor has details of the successful mentoring and leadership program for black teenage boys.
It's a happy time in this Oakland church parking lot, celebrating another successful year for OK.
OK means Our Kids. It's Our Kids program.
Pastor Bob Jackson, chairman of the OK program here. It's a local collaboration mentoring young African-American males.
With the Oakland Police Department, with the 100 black men, and also with the schools, and also with the city. And in order to keep those boys in school, because 60% of them were dropping out of school before graduation.
One of those boys being honored here, Jason Saunders, an F average in middle school. He graduates with a 4.0. His mother, Alicia Carey, so proud, so thankful.
He was just at a time in his life where he was just being a boy. And as I'm not a man and can't possibly raise a man, I needed some assistance. So in that, I turned to the OK program.
This year, nearly 300 black male teenagers part of that program. Soundtrack for the celebration courtesy Oakland PD as Jason drives off in his new car, an award for academic performance. In Oakland, Jim Taylor, KCBS.
The Silicon Valley Leadership Group, made up of more than 340 companies in the South Bay, has a new CEO at the helm. KCBS's Jennifer Hodges takes a closer look.
49ers owner Jed York made the announcement that Ahmad Thomas is taking over as the CEO of the Silicon Valley Leadership Group.
And most important to my heart, he was a high school quarterback. So if we need to call up on the bench and bring somebody in for the Niners this year, Ahmad's already got the playbook, so he's ready to roll.
At a press conference to announce his new position, Thomas was asked about how the leadership group can attract smaller businesses to its membership.
Specifically, when you look at black and brown, Latinx entrepreneurs, there is oftentimes a lack of ability for mentorship at a level that can actually lead to visibility and funding.
Thomas served as an aide to Senator Dianne Feinstein for 5 years. Jennifer Hodges, KCBS.
A down day on Wall Street. We have the Money Watch on KCBS.
Stocks ended the week with a losing session. Traders grew anxious about rising U.S.-China tensions and a possible stalling of the economic recovery. The Dow Industrials tumbled 182. The S&P 500 lost 20. The Nasdaq dropped 98. Boeing's new 777X jet may be stuck on the tarmac. Reuters reports the plane maker is preparing to delay the jet by as much as a year due to weak demand. An announcement could come next week. Bridgewater Associates, the world's biggest hedge fund firm, is cutting jobs. Several dozen of its nearly 1,600 employees reportedly have already been let go, mainly in research, client services, and recruitment. Difficult days may lie ahead for the nation's renters. A survey by Apartment List finds 1/3 of U.S. renters failed to make their full July payment. Analysts say evictions may surge unless Congress extends supplemental unemployment benefits. Larry Kofsky, Bloomberg Business for KCBS.
Hi, this is George with New Life Property Investments, and I buy houses in cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 925-490-2000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 3 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, in any location in the San Francisco Bay Area. I am a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy yours. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses, and I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you have a house that is trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying fixer-uppers too. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and foreclosure houses. If you or someone you know is looking to sell their house and want to sell it fast, call me at 925-490-2000. That's 925-490-2000, 925-490-2000.
Hi, this is Matt Jesse, president of MB Jesse Painting, and I have some great news. We are back. My team of over 50 amazing painters is ready to do what we do best, providing awesome painting services for homes and businesses throughout the Bay Area. We are committed to doing every job safely and on time. Contact us today for your free painting estimate. Call 855-MB-JESSE or visit us online at mbjesse.com.
MB Jesse.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man aged 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage, $75 per month level rate for the next 10 years. Or a man aged 50 non-tobacco can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110 per month, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rate guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Termbusters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote at 1-800-569-5440. That's 1-800-569-5440. You're probably paying more than you should. Call Termbusters, 1-800-569-5440, or visit our website at termbusters.net. Remember, 1-800-569-5440. Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting. Exam required to qualify.
KCBS News Time 2:58. Before the top of the hour news, we check back with Peter Schofield. He's in for Kim today with our traffic news.
And a crash on the Bay Bridge, 80 westbound, just before you leave the upper deck of the Bay Bridge before Fremont Street. As many as 4 cars involved. The 2 right lanes have been blocked by this crash. You'll come to the backup as you emerge from the tunnel at Yerba Buena Island. Also in San Francisco, police activity around 18th and Mission. That is shutting down the streets there. You're asked to avoid that area. In Bay Point, Highway 4 westbound past Bailey Road. The 3 left lanes are blocked by a crash involving a motorcycle and a fatality. Only the right lane is open. The backup begins as you approach Railroad Avenue. And big trouble in the Delta. This is near Brandon Island. Highway 12 shut down in both directions. This is just west of the Mokelumne River. It's a crash involving a motorcycle and a big rig. For an alternate, you might consider Highway 4 east or westbound, or Highway 160 through Walnut Grove and then back to Interstate 5. Your next traffic update at 3:08 on the Traffic Leader, KCBS.
Pretty strong marine influence today is keeping temperatures a little bit lower than yesterday. Low 60s at the coast. It's cool and cloudy there. 60s by the bay, upper 70s to low 80s inland. Everybody's going to see a little bit more of the sunshine tomorrow. High pressure starting to build back up, and that's going to warm things up through early next week. Traffic and weather together on KCBS. It is Friday, July 24th, 2020.
I'm Megan Goldsby on the new coronavirus protections for essential workers that the governor has rolled out.
This is Matt Bigler in Oakland, where COVID-19 infections from parties and social gatherings are surging.
Incredibly troubling.
House Speaker Pelosi challenges Republicans to get on board with continued federal supplemental unemployment insurance. I'm Patty Rising with Jeff Bell.
When you need to know, KCBS AM, KFRC FM, and HD1. San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, a radio.com station.
3 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Matt Piper in New York. Time is quickly running out for millions of Americans whose last paycheck lifeline is set to expire this weekend. Will Congress pass an extension before it runs out? House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
What do the Republicans and the White House have against working families in our country, that they would begrudge them $600 of, absolutely necessary sustenance.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
There is a controversy, however, over whether or not the provision in the previous measure that allowed people to make more staying at home and going back to work was a good idea. That's not going to be in our recommendation, but I do think basic unemployment insurance, fundamentally handled by the states but backed up by us, will be